This week's technique of the week is going to be eccentric reps. So the whole idea behind eccentrics is to only perform the eccentric. So how we can do this with specific movements is going to be pretty apparent. So something like what I'm going to demo here, pull-ups, really easy to understand. You just get to the top of the movement, let yourself down to overload the eccentric, step back up, do it all over again for X amount of times, however many sets that you want to do, etc. For other movements, it might be a little bit more difficult. So eccentrics are going to be a very specific intensity technique to apply. They actually are not going to be applicable for every single movement. You don't want to try and do this on barbell squats, for example, right? Like that is not going to be the best outcome. So for something like pull-ups, the idea here is to, again, get yourself above the bar. So you're gonna start from the contraction, start from the shortest muscle position. Then you're going to control the eccentric for a defined period of time or as long as you can. So you might see it explicitly stated, control the eccentric for 5 count, or you might just say as long as possible, depending on what the goal is there. But all the way through the range of motion, once you're at the bottom, you're in the full stretch, the relaxed position, you will step back up to the top. So it's going to be a very segmented intensity technique. It's not going to be constant tension, so that's an important thing to note there. Also, you want to make sure that you're not performing the concentric or as little as possible here. So for me, I'm going to have to jump up a little bit, so I will have to pull just a smidge, but you want to eliminate the concentric as much as possible and only perform the eccentric. So here, I'm going to jump up to the top and control all the way down. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Do it all over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and on and on. And for me, I would probably need to actually add load to get the most out of something like an eccentric because I can actually perform a good amount of pull-ups under my own body weight. So just to wrap this up, reiterate, eccentrics are going to be done specifically for certain movements that have a easily overloadable eccentric aspect of the range of motion. They're not going to be super applicable for other movements where maybe have a higher risk, especially in the bottom of the movement. And you want to make sure that you are eliminating the concentric as much as you possibly can to purely focus on the eccentric aspect of the movement. And these are also called negatives for anyone who's ever heard the term negative applied. But again, eccentrics, negatives, go ahead and throw them in your training. Be very careful with them. Make sure that you know what you're doing and eliminate those concentrics.